Very funny. Joleen, Lunzer!
One, two, three, four.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe. Everybody returning, everybody first time here, hit that like. Let's set our like goal tonight for 400. Let's just get crazy. Tonight we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7, Episode 12, Mic Drop. I think right now the title of this is still last week's episode, but it's the holidays. So we're going to take a funny, really casual look at the latest episode of The Real Housewives. Let me know how you are feeling in the chat, all your hopes, dreams, thoughts, and opinions regarding these housewives. And if you want to support the channel, Super Chat is a great way to do it while I'm live. Otherwise, a super thanks after it's posted, or join me on Patreon, YouTube membership, or hit me up on the Cash App, all that stuff. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, thank you guys so much for your patience. I had a live scheduled for earlier and I completely forgot. And I went to Target and I went to pick up an order. And then the order, they were like, sorry, we kind of lost your order. So I just waited there for 40 minutes. And so I'm actually driving. I normally never stream when driving. So this is a new thing, but I'm being very safe. So don't worry. And you can hear everything rustling around in my backseat. So shout out to Shannon Band for saying, don't you have a stream right now? And I was like, oh crap, it's about that time. And Shauna will not be joining us tonight because she's on her birthday trip. She will be back next week. So you guys, shout out to Shauna, whose birthday was on Christmas, Shauna Christmas. And if you want to give her the best birthday present, go subscribe to her channel. And if someone doesn't mind one of my mods dropping her channel link, that would be amazing. So I know this live is late, and I know that it was rescheduled last minute. So I appreciate all of you in the chat for still joining. All right, let's get into it. I have some opinions. I won't be able to like screen share and stuff like that, but we can still talk about it. And hopefully you guys can hear me well. If not, let me know throughout the live if you have any difficulty hearing me at all. Okay, so this episode was good. I know Shauna and I were gone last week because she was on her birthday trip, and I was just going to cover it maybe tonight as well. But last episode was okay, but this episode was a lot better. Now we have the two episodes where now we can compare and contrast Karen Huger, her live show, compared to Robin and Giselle's live show. And I would love to know what you guys think in the chat. Who had the better live show? Which one would you have rather went to? I'll tell you guys. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm a Karen Huger fan. I'm not going to say Stan. All right, I'll say Stan. Her live show was clunky, for sure. And as a stand-up comedian, it wasn't set up the best, and we can talk about that. But I would still rather go to the DC Improv. I was literally looking at the booker's name, like, I got to get his name, and I'm going to contact him because I need to hit up the DC Improv. So obviously being in a comedy club, I liked that aspect. I like that Karen Huger had some outfit changes. I like the fact that she had more people. She brought more of a crowd. She sold candles, even though she said she wasn't going to mix her brands. Yes, I am a La Dame. All right, I'm definitely. I don't have a number one fan. Now I do. Shout out to Joleen, Lunzer's number one fan. I love you so much. Love you so much. Love you so much. Donna says, I'm not into variety shows. Here's the reason. Well, Karen, obviously, she had some pretty big names. She had RuPaul's Drag Race, and I don't know a ton about RuPaul's Drag Race. You guys that follow me know that. But watching Busy and So Debonair, shout out to So Busy, Entertainment Productions, their recap earlier today, I was actually listening to, and they were saying, or Busy was saying, that Karen pronounced the drag queen's name incorrectly. So I don't really know what her name is, but feel free to put it in the chat. But I feel like she could have got her name right. So just like Robin and Giselle's live show, there were some name issues going on. But apparently she's iconic. Now I think she's in a lot of memes and gifs and stuff, right? Because I've definitely seen her around. I don't know a ton about her. Like I'm just starting to get acquainted with some of the drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. And I know I should watch the show because I know I would love it. And I have watched a couple episodes in the past. And I recently got introduced to Trixie Mattel just through a YouTube recommendation. And also, she has a motel hotel out here that I want to stay at. And I've been watching some of Trixie's older videos and then some new ones, and then a makeup tutorial with Trixie's sister. And I was like, I love this. I love this. So that's about the extent of my knowledge when it comes to RuPaul's Drag Race. But shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race. So Karen did have a variety show type thing. However, she, you definitely, if you are going to put your name and your face on a poster as a live performer myself, you better be doing the most time because people came to see you. Now, I think they did a compilation of how much time Karen actually did at her show, and it was, 25 minutes. So I probably would have only had obviously, the opening stand-up comedian, great. What a wonderful gig for her. Lots of people use stand-up comedians as openers, whether they are singers or other kind of performers. It happens a lot or variety show type thing. A lot of the talk shows you watch have warm-up comics because it gets people in the mood to have a good time and to laugh and let your guard down and all that stuff. So it's actually a good thing. So I was very happy for that stand-up comedian. I forget what her name is, but definitely shout out to her. They didn't show her best bit. I mean, they showed her doing kind of a joke that had a little bit of movement to it. I think she was doing an aerobics joke, and they didn't even show the whole joke, but that's how editing goes. She got some screen time, and I'm sure people will look her up and follow her if she's not already a well-known comedian, as it is. Then Karen came out. Then she came out, and then she was like, hey, and it just seemed like she was hosting for sure. And that's fine. You can do Karen Huger and Friends, but I just feel like it wasn't explained as much. And then what are we and Friends talking about? So we're talking about love. Well, that wasn't very clear because all she did was come out and mention gay pride. And then all of a sudden she's taking questions from the audience about relationships. And it was just a mess. I'm like, what is Karen Huger doing right now? But it's Karen. So I was okay. And I liked that everyone showed up except for Charisse. She wasn't invited. She wasn't invited. And I don't blame Karen for not inviting her. She doesn't like her. She doesn't want to hear about this side piece she allegedly has, and she doesn't want Charisse bringing that up. So I didn't mind that Charisse wasn't there. And I also didn't mind that Charisse didn't want to be anyone's plus one because she wasn't invited, because that would feel pretty awkward. But if you want your housewife spot back, I would say make yourself available all those times, even if it's going to be uncomfortable. And as we see from an episode or next episode when they're traveling and on a trip, we're going to see Karen and Charisse go at it. We are going to see our senior members of the Real Housewives of Potomac really giving it to each other and fighting. So I'm kind of excited for that, because finally they've been like hiding from each other. Well, mostly Karen hiding from Charisse the whole season, and I want to see something happen. But before we even get to Karen's show, which again I'd rather go to because I just feel like she did have multiple songs. Obviously she didn't perform them, but it looked like the audience was having fun, even though Bravo didn't have the budget to pay for said songs. It still looked fun, more so than Robin and Giselle. They had people up on stage doing the Running Man and God knows what else dances, a TikTok segment. It's like, I'm not 12. I don't want to see a TikTok segment at all. So at least Karen Huger, she paid and hired professional performers for her show, knowing she, even though she's the self-proclaimed Muhammad Ali of the live show, even though I don't think she's ever done one before, but she's the self-proclaimed Muhammad Ali. At least she knew well enough to hire like real working performers, where Robin and Giselle, I get what they were doing because it's their podcast, so they're going to be the main entertainment. But they did hire a comedian to open, but he didn't get their names right. And I would have probably hired a woman. I just would have, because their show is two women. To me it looks more female empowerment, so I would have hired a female comedian. That's just what I would have done. But they didn't do that. Instead, they hired a guy who didn't even know what their names were. So I would rather do that than go to that than go to their show. I'm sure Charisse wanted to be invited, for sure, So, but before we get to that, you guys, we have a lot of talk coming from Karen as she prepares for her show about what Mia told her, because remember, she went to Mia's house last episode and she basically interrogated her, and Mia fell for it hook, line, and sinker. She just was like, what happened here? And whose vagina did you look in? And what's going on with Peter Thomas? Have you had sex with him? Oh, you had sex with his ex-girlfriend? Oh, you did that with Gordon? Okay, cool. What else? Have you and Jacqueline ever went into each other's baby doors just with the flashlight? Got it. Deuces, I'll make cookies with your daughter later. And that's basically, then she just left. She just showed up at Mia's last episode, asked her a bunch of invasive questions, and left, took her information, and spread it around. And I don't really feel bad for Mia because she's Mia, and also because you're on a television show. Lady, you said it on camera. It's going to get out. All that information you say is going to get out. So, oh well. So now Karen is just spreading it like, oh, guess what? Just like Jacqueline spread her legs and Mia looked inside with a flashlight, I'm going to spread all of the things that Mia told me. So now everyone is asking Mia. Mia goes to meet with Robin and Giselle, and they go to a place where they don't serve them the food. It's like a counter juice bar place. And it was funny watching this because as each one of them walked in, they're like, so they don't bring, I have to order here. Okay, I'll be right there. Okay, so they don't bring it out. You have to do it. Okay, I'll be right there. And this is where Giselle, obviously messy, starts asking Mia about the things she heard from Karen about being Inspector Gadget inside Jacqueline's vagine. And Mia's like, oh, who told you that? She's like, well, Karen Huger told me, obviously. And then she's like, oh, and I also heard you had sex with Peter Thomas's now girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. I can't even keep up. It's Peter Thomas. He is too big of a storyline in this season. And Mia says, well, we did on our wedding night. And it's like, huh? Well, not on our wedding night, on our bachelorette party, huh? Well, they're like, why was she invited to the bachelor party? Well, she was in the wedding, huh? So as she keeps going with these strange details about this woman that is Peter Thomas's girlfriend or not Peter Thomas's girlfriend, that she and Gordon may have possibly hooked up with their foreplay on their wedding night, but not their wedding night, but the bachelor party, I'm just thinking, what in the good golly Miss Molly is going on over here? This is so messy and strange. And fine, everyone has their own sexual kinks and they like to watch people do it with each other. Bring in a friend, bring in two friends, buy them a Porsche, sure. But if you're going to put yourself on TV, you're probably going to have to own that shit. I hate to be Lisa Rinna about this, but you're probably going to have to own it. So the fact that she was so up in her feelings about anyone bringing this up, or with Wendy, and now it obviously makes so much more sense why she was so incensed with what Wendy was saying about Peter. I mean, to me, I'll be honest, it still doesn't make a lot of sense why you would be this upset, but because who cares? So you banged Peter Thomas's now girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, so now you also have to be the protector of Peter Thomas's Bar One Productions. Yeah, and then everyone's got a yeaster for Easter. It turns out, Mia was trying to cover for Jacqueline, because when Karen and everyone was asking, like, why did you look in her vagina? Man, no, we were just playing doctor. Okay, were you like, how old? Like kids? College? Yesterday? Was something wrong? No, I was just curious. But then when Jacqueline hears that it's out, that Mia went spelunking in her vaginal walls, she's like, well, I had a yeaster for Easter. So she had a yeast infection. And let me tell you, I've never had a yeast infection. Knock on Monistat, I haven't. I hear they're quite awful, and I don't want one ever again. knock on some monostat 7, 11, 12, 13, 14 to the 100, then I never get one. But I think when you have it, it's like itchy and irritated. And the last thing you would want is your friend down there with a flashlight. And then Mia went so far as to say she wanted to put tongs down there, like the duck clips they put in you when you're getting your yearly vaginal exam. I'm like, Mia, it's getting creepy. It's getting creepy. I mean, it's getting very creepy. But Jacqueline did not have to out her yeaster for Easter. However, I was kind of glad she did because normalize a yeaster for Easter. You know, women, we deal with so much stuff. We got so much stuff going on down there. Granted, we don't have to share that with everybody, but I also don't want to hear people going, ew, because hello, the vagina is a wonderful, beautiful beast of a body part and it does miraculous things and it also hurts. Okay. And there's also a lot of stuff going on down there that we're not allowed to talk about, and we should be allowed to talk about it because people need to learn. You know, you learn about the Easters for the Easters. All right. So now Mia knows Karen is a big mouth, but duh, it's Karen Huger. And also you said it on camera, so I don't feel that bad for you. Then we get this whole segment with Gordon, as Miss T is saying, and Gordon looked so uncomfortable and he looked not happy. I don't know what is going on. Like maybe Jacqueline saw him flaccid and crying in a corner one time while naked. I'm not sure, but he looked very uncomfortable. Jacqueline went over to Mia's house and Mia's like, everybody's talking about how I looked inside your vagina and inspected your cervix when you had a yeaster for Easter with a flashlight. And Jacqueline's like, oh, why do they know that? Well, I told them. Okay. Jacqueline seems pretty cool about it, but it's Jacqueline and Mia and Gordon. And they're like, let's break out the wine, some kind of red wine. That's Gordon's, I think. I don't know if it was male testosterone wine. It was nutsack wine. It was their finest nutsack wine you've ever seen in your life. So they pour some. Jacqueline sits in the middle and they're making like jokes, like threesome jokes. And I should say it's more Mia and Jacqueline, and Gordon just looks like, I don't know if I want her sitting in the middle. I don't know. So I don't get what they really do together. Is it just Mia plays? But I thought she said she watches Gordon. So there's some weird thing now between Gordon and Jacqueline where Jacqueline seems to be like, well, you guys love me, because she admits that like her Porsche, or her Porsche as she calls it, was a huge down payment was put down by G and Mia. And Jacqueline's like, well, it's none of their business. You know, I was at a point where I was trying to get out of a relationship and all this stuff. And it's because you love me. And he was like, no, I don't love you. And she loves you. And she's like, well, you guys love me. He's like, oh, no. She loves you. So that was very strange of Gordon. I was like, yeah, I think Gordon's like, oh, I didn't know we were going to talk about all this stuff. And I'm about to lose my business from my brothers. So we got to calm it down. I think maybe he started to pick up on that. It was just very odd. His facial expressions, his body language, and then Mia and Jacqueline just like, and then we shower together, and then I wash your cervix, you wash my labia. It's just like friendly, and we're both really attractive. So who doesn't shower with their attractive friends? I don't know why everyone has a problem. You're showering together. It's like there's places I can't reach, inside. So that was Trey awkward. Then we see Ashley with her PYTs. Excuse me, Ashley. What? She's got 3 other friends. I think it's 3, right? Okay, she's got these 3 girlfriends and Ashley, and they're going out and they're like, it's my PYTs or my PLTs or my BLTs. I think it was her bacon, lettuce, and tomato. So she's got the bacon, lettuce, and tomato squad. Okay. She could be the mayo or something, or butter or whatever. And then here comes Giselle crashing the party, like just looking for something messy because she doesn't, have a storyline. So she shows up and they're like, hey, we're the BLTs. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm I'm kind of a BLT. And they're like, yeah, you're like extra crispy, or something, because she's older. There's a joke, I think, on her age or something. And who's there but Deborah? And Deborah is the friend of Ashley who's been making all these claims against the husbands, like Candace's husband, Chris, and Wendy's husband, Eddie, who is my favorite housewife's husband. How dare you, miss? So she shows up just thirsty as all thirst. She's got a straw in her mouth. She is sucking up the bottom of everybody's cup, trying to find moisture on the floor. She is so thirsty. And she's flipping her hair over here, flipping her hair over there. And I saw on Twitter, people were referring to her, I think, as work shirt. Because in both scenes she was in, or maybe all three, from even the spring fling party, she had like a button up work shirt. Like she went to Kohl's and she needed a little bit of apartment 9. She was just wearing an oversized apartment 9 blouse as a dress in every damn scene she was in. She looked strange. She acted strange. Yes, time for more lies. Time for more lies. And the time flies when you're hearing lies. So then Giselle's like, oh, this is Deborah. And Deborah's like, it's me. And she keeps flipping her hair, And, oh, so you're the one that said, Chris. She's like, mm-hmm. I was at the bar at Karen's spring fling party, her vaginal rejuvenation, whatever it was, party. And he came up to me and he said, hey. And I said, hey. And then he said, I'm Chris. And I said, I'm Deborah. I'm Deborah. Like Mikey's saying, I'm Deborah. And then she said, my husband's name is Chris. And he goes, yeah, most Chris's are alike. He tried to make it seem like he was trying to like spit some game, talk to her, just lean in, maybe their elbows kind of touch to the point of ejaculation. It was very weird. I'm like, Deborah, you are doing the most. Deborah was doing too much. She's just too much. I'm like, Deborah, you need to be quiet. So she's telling these stories and I'm thinking, really? Are you sure? Are you sure Chris did that? And then here comes the producers with the receipts, with video evidence that shows nobody's talking to Deborah. Okay, Chris is on his phone. He's trying to probably make sure they don't miss the flight that Candace had to take that day. He's looking up his hotel stuff because he manages that hotel or whatever he does. And Deborah, she's saying, he was looking at me. He was killing me softly with his looks. He was looking at me. He was like, hey, girl, I want to get pregnant. And I was like, no, I already have a Chris in my life. He's like, what's better than one Chris? 2 Chris's. She made it into something it was not, when really he was just sitting there looking at his phone. And then I think she struck up a conversation later in the episode. They pull a clip and it's just like, haha, just, hey, stranger, not anything that is worth talking about. But Deborah has the thirst. Deborah is like the desert. She is, oh man, she's just very, very dehydrated. So then she goes so far as to say, not only was it Chris, but Eddie, not Eddie. Deborah, how dare you? I think Deborah needs to apologize to all of us. Yeah, and still no Kathy footage. We got all the footage and receipts for Potomac, but still no Kathy Hilton van footage. Thank you so much, okay? And exactly, lying on Smiling Eddie. How dare you, ma'am? How dare you? You owe the world an apology. Eddie is the nicest damn husband we've ever seen on this show. He's supportive. He's cute. He's stylish. He's successful. He's involved with the kids. Like, we don't get that in our housewives' husbands. We just don't. Every franchise, you get, you're lucky if you get half a good husband. But Eddie is a whole ass good husband. And these women continue from last season to want to drag Eddie and Wendy's relationship down. And it's really gross because just like last season, you had the All About the Treason website that they show from time to time on Bravo. They cut to just making up lies about Eddie. Oh, Eddie did this. Eddie was with this person. Eddie's cheating. And then we have no receipts. We just have these false accusations and people are making money off it. And it's gross. And now we got Deborah saying, and then Eddie, he was just being so flirty. He was smiling at me. Oh, not smiling, Deborah. He probably didn't even know because, like Candace said she looks like she's on Sesame Street. And let me tell you, who doesn't smile when they see a Sesame Street character? They are adorable, those little puppets. So maybe he thought she was a puppet. You know, puppets, it's not like clowns that they scare some people. I don't think people are scared of puppets unless we're talking about Puppet Master, which was a very scary movie in the 80s. Probably not if I watch it now as an adult, but as a kid, it scared the shit out of me. But maybe he thought Deborah, was friends, with Oscar the Grouch or Big Bird or something. And he was like, yeah, that's cute. My kids have a toy like that. Who knows? Who knows? But a smile? So now you got to be worried who you smile in front of. So Deborah flipped her hair 7 more times in her apartment 9 dress. And then Ashley, was Ashley not getting Luke from Winterhouse D at this time because she's got all the time to ruin people's marriages. And I do truly think it is only because her marriage went down the grinder pipe. It just went down. And so she doesn't want people to focus on the weirdness that is she and Michael Darby and them still getting a house in the name of a business or an LLC or something weird. I mean, I don't know, there might be more coming out about that at a later date because that is still very, very strange to me. Okay. So she wants to get people off the scent of that. So she's just throwing everybody's marriage under the bus. You get under and you get under. And I'm like, can you just get to Winter House already and Summer House and find Luke so that you can quit disparaging perfectly good marriages with zero proof other than a Deborah, who, you guys, I checked out her Instagram. She's got like 800. Maybe she's got more now. She had like 800 followers. And someone on Twitter pointed out she already put Real Housewives of Potomac in her bio. You're not on the show. You're not a cast member. But I will say, if I was Deborah and I appeared even for a second on the show, I'd put it in my bio too. I would. But that's because I'm a performer. Like, obviously, I want, I look for credits, things like that. So that's what she's looking for too. She's very thirsty, very thirsty. Hey, princess. So it was just, oh my gosh, Deborah. So Deborah with her 867 followers is now Real Housewives of Potomac in her damn bio. So then Ashley, again, she's like, well, I better tell Wendy. I better go ruin her marriage because things not working too well with Candace. So I better go ruin hers. So then we cut to, thankfully this wasn't a full scene because it would have been such a waste of time. Ashley telling Wendy, Chris flirted with Deborah. And she's like, who the fuck is Deborah? Who's Deborah? She's like, Deborah. Everybody knows Deborah. Won't you tell me how to get to Deborah Street? And she was like, okay. Oh, your friend that was coming for Chris? Yeah. She said Eddie smiled at her. And I'm like, what? And even Wendy was like, huh? Smiled? Really? So then Wendy relays the information to Eddie, to which Eddie's like, I guess I can't smile anymore. And Wendy's like, exactly. You smile at everybody. You're a smiley guy. They're calling him Smiley Eddie. And then Wendy said, not Smiley Eddie. I mean, that's actually a really cute nickname, because Michael Darby is referred to as Gollum. So I think I'd rather be referred to as Smiley Eddie. I mean, can we just save the cheating storylines for the actual cheaters, for the actual house husbands that cheat on their spouses, and we have proof and pictures and video and all that, and not for Smiley Eddie? Let Smiley Eddie smile. And then I liked this part where Wendy was like, you even smile at the dog. And then they cut to the dog and Eddie's smiling. And it's so cute. And it's them and their family. And then Wendy has her confessional and she's like, well, I don't know. Eddie wouldn't leave this. Why would he leave all this? And I'm thinking, yeah, I mean, he wouldn't. Not for Deborah. I know that, people don't always cheat up. I realize that when people always say, oh, this person's not attractive. My spouse or my significant other would never cheat. People cheat with who will cheat. It's not always a step up. A lot of times it's a step down. Now, when I've been cheated on, it was a step up. I'll be honest. She was a lot prettier than me. But sometimes it's just a step down. And that's what it would have been if any of this happened with Deborah. All right. That's, the way Eddie and Wendy laughed is perfect. That is exactly what they should have been doing. They did the exact right thing. When these Cuckoo Bananas housewives come at you because they want the heat off of them, and they just throw these fake allegations that hold no weight, no proof, no anything from websites like All About the Treason. You just gotta laugh at it. You can't take it seriously because the more you invest in it, the more it looks a little bit guilty. Okay? Yeah, I guess grabbing butts and smiling are in the same categories. Cheaters be cheating. Exactly. If someone's gonna cheat on you, they're gonna cheat on you. I heard someone on YouTube say, my husband would never cheat with this person. She's fat or bigger than me. And I'm like, do you think that matters? Do you think that matters? You think people with a couple extra pounds on them aren't getting it in? Are you crazy? That is some sizist bullshit. I mean, genitals work at any size. They're all inclusive. All right? And a lot of times so is cheating. It's all inclusive. All right? So, all about the treason, all about that damn treason. I mean, who's going to stop that fight? Eventually, one day, somebody, come on. Oh, so they laughed about it. It was great. But we're not done because Deborah is going to put on another Apartment 9 shirt and going to show up at another event because Ashley's going to take her as her plus one because Ashley doesn't know when to take an L. It's time to take an L, Ash. It didn't work. It didn't work. You trying to make this cheating thing happen, and my friend said the same way Jizzy wasn't able to do it, you're not able to do it either. But she still brings Deborah. So Deborah shows up, flipping her hair back and forth to Karen's event at the DC Improv, which was probably the most exciting because I couldn't wait to see Candace's reaction to this. So Candace is with her mom, Dorothy. They're getting ready. Candace is eating. She's like, my dress is too big. I had to pin it. And I'm thinking, oh my God, Candace problems. I have never had a dress too big. I've had to pin it. But if I did, I would definitely make sure I said it on television. I would be so excited if that happened. And Candace like, I don't know if they're going to have food before this event, so I'm going to eat. And then Dorothy was like, what shoes are you wearing? And Candace said, the ones on my feet. And Dorothy said, oh, I thought those were slippers. And they're not. They're those new, well, they're not that new, but like that style where it looks braided. So she had like a cute neon dress and hot pink heels. And it's so Mama Dorothy. It's exactly what Mama Dorothy does. She's going to get in a little stab at you. You know, oh yeah, you look great. Your dress is too big, so you had to pin it back. And you're wearing slippers on your feet. And Candace like, no. And then Dorothy says she's got a hard out. She's got a curfew of midnight. And Candace says, we'll see. We'll see if that happens. So everyone's showing up at the improv. The improv manager thought that Jizzy was Karen. Ooh. And Jizzy didn't like that. Jizzy was like, that's not me. I'm not Karen Huger. I'm not Ladam. I don't have Ladams. I don't have Jizzy stands. I don't have, what's their podcast called again? I always forget. No. You guys put it in the chat. The Jizzy and Robin podcast is no. I can't think of it. I can't think of it right now. But you guys know we just had a live show there. Okay. So everyone's getting appies. Karen's praying to the Ladams. This is the greatest day of her life. DC Improv. She's on the marquee. She's so happy. She's got an outfit change. She's got paid performers that are going to do most of the work. She's excited. All the housewives arrive. Candace arrives a little bit after they're already seated, after Deborah is already reasonably shady. Thank you. I always forget. Reasonably shady. That's not a hard name to remember. Okay. So then Candace is warned. Robin shows up. I mean, the next day, Robin showed up. I'm thinking, Robin looked like, Robin is beautiful, but she looks like she just rolled out of bed. And she put on like a jean dress. I don't even know. And she just was like, hey, what's up? And they're like, Robin, the event was 2 weeks ago. And she's like, oh, I'm glad you guys are still there. And they're like, we're not. We're actually here for a different event. Okay, there's another event at this place. So poor Robin, she was just sleeping till noon. You know, she shows up late. She's got to take her chair, scoot her chair across the damn comedy club to sit next to Jizzy and across from Candace. I mean, I'm late. I can't talk shit. I totally forgot about my live tonight. I'm just, my ADD, it's one of the things. So maybe Robin needs to, go check to see if she's got ADHD, ADD, something like that. But you would think maybe Robin would occasionally, there are times when I'm on time, but it seems like Robin is never on time. So I don't know. I feel like maybe glass houses, I shouldn't even be commenting on this because I am a late bitch. But it just was funny that she scoot in her chair, skate, skate, skate. She sits down, but thankfully, her and Candace have mended fences. So she was like, Candace, that's Deborah who said the stuff about the husbands and about Chris. And Candace is like, excuse me, that's Deborah? And she, again, explains that she is a Sesame Street character. In her confessional, she's talking about that. And Candace is just thinking, I am not going to entertain this. All right. So the show happens. Deborah's there flipping her hair and laughing. Ashley's there being messy. Jizzy as well. Mia asks a question in the question and answer, and she says, hey, Karen, what happens or what do you do if you tell your friends something and they go off and tell their friends and they're not supposed to? And Karen's like, oof, well, that sounds like it's about me. Could have saved that one for another time. But sorry about that. And it's probably true. I don't remember what Karen's exact words were, but you could tell she was like, really, Mia? Now's not the time. And Mia was like, now is the time. And then Mia did a mic drop. I don't know why she did a mic drop. It wasn't, to me, again, I'm a little biased because I am a, La Dame. I'm a La Damer. I'm a La Karen Dahmer. La Damer Karen. So, but it wasn't like she took something that wasn't supposed to be on camera and said this stuff and she's calling her out for that. You literally said it in one of the rooms in your home when Karen came and interrogated you over a beverage and they were filming. So what's the big read? What's the big mic drop? So you're saying Karen shares information. A housewife of insert any city shared information she wasn't supposed to share with other housewives? No, stop it. And you're going to question her about it? It's never been done before. Or you're reinventing the wheel. You're reinventing the Louis Vuitton. Oh my gosh. It just wasn't that serious. It wasn't that necessary. It would have been better had she spilled some tea on her, or maybe the secret she says she knows, because Mia told Jizzy, Robin, was it just Jizzy and Robin? I think it was just Jizzy and Robin, that she knows the real reason. That Karen doesn't want to mess with or be friends with Charisse. And it's like, yeah, we all do, because she is like spreading rumors, and I don't know if it's true or not, that there was some guy that you were hanging out with, that you were seen with. There's some other Mr. something. Mr. Not Ray. So she's going to talk about Mr. Not Ray. You don't want her talking about Mr. Not Ray because Mr. Not Ray might be real, Mr. Not Ray might be false, but she don't want to talk about Mr. Not Ray. So that's the big secret. So it would have been better if she was like, what do you do if one of your friends is seen out with a guy that's not her husband, but she talks about how she knows about love and marriage, and you know that she's afraid of this getting out and won't let another friend in the group because she's going to bring it out. What do you do? And that friend's name is Charisse. That would have been more of a mic drop, but this was just, it was too much. And then, before this, we learn about the yeaster for Easter that Jacqueline had, and the spelunking into the vaginal walls, and measuring Jacqueline's cervix, and all the things they just do. It's just what college girls do. I don't know. I went to college. I went to 5 years of college, and I never measured my friend's cervix. I never took a flashlight in there. I wasn't really on the journalism degree path, I guess, but maybe I just didn't have the right college experience, you guys. I'm not sure. Okay. And that's when Jacqueline's like, I had a Easter. Ha! And everyone's like, oh my God. And then Busy Blue today in the So Busy recap was talking about seeing a lady on Instagram putting yogurt on a pad and then wearing pad with yogurt pad when she had a Easter for Easter. Now, I wasn't watching the chat a bunch at that time. Has anybody in this chat, which I assume mostly women, some men, um, has anyone else done this? Put yogurt. I don't think you're supposed to put Dannon on your downward dog parts, right? I don't think we're supposed to. I think when you take like an antibiotic, that's when women have to be worried about messing up the. I'm just again, I don't know the pH balance and the stuff and all the yeast. You don't got enough bread down there when you're taking an antibiotic. So they're like, eat some yogurt. I've heard that, like eat yogurt. I've never heard of slap some Dannon, slap a Go-Gurt on your baby door. I've never heard of that before. So put your comments in the chat if you've done that. Hit the like if you haven't already. And I am going to switch spots with my husband because I'm picking him up from work so I can talk to you guys while I'm not driving. And we're back. All right. Chell is here. He is the driver. Hello, Chell. Welcome. You got here at the right time. We are talking about Yeasters for Easters and yogurt. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat now that I can see the chat. Go-Gurt and squirt. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Put a little squirt, or you can squirt. Put a little Go-Gurt down there. You don't put anything edible there. Yeah. I mean, I think some people do, Tamara, put edible stuff there. I think you just got to be careful. It's a sensitive area. Okay. Cured milk can't help. Yep. Commercial. It's a commercial. Yes, we just had a commercial. Dear Jamie Lee Curtis, Nanya says, asking for a friend. That's what we should ask her. Would Activia activate the yeasters or level the yeasters? Whatever happens during a yeaster for Easter, would Activia, I mean, if Activia makes the back door go, will it make the front door slow down on the yeast? I don't know. Okay, yeah, right on time to be grossed out, Miss T. That's what Chell is, right on time. Mia wanted to be a doctor. I'm sure she did. Okay, exactly. So yeah, when they were talking about that on the So Busy recap tonight, I was like, I don't know if that's a real deal Ally McBeal, but okay. I've never tried that. I'm probably not going to try that. Put Go-Gurt on my downstairs walls, but you never know. So we get to the Easter for Easter conversation. That goes down, and the Karen show is finally done. But is it done? Because we got one more act, which is the same act, which is the RuPaul's Drag Race performer, and they do a song, another song that Bravo can't pay for or doesn't want to pay for, or maybe Karen was supposed to pay for. I'm just like, what song is she singing that is that spendy that they can't just give them a couple bucks, you know? Then Karen is like, this is the greatest day of my life. She's like, this is the best day of my life. I have never had a better day than today. When they ask her, what's the greatest moment of your life? She says, right now, here, with all of you who I don't know, with the DC improv manager who thinks I'm Giselle, this is the greatest moment. But I would have rather went to her event than Robin and Jizzy's because there were actual performers there who I'm sure were very fun to watch. But if Karen was the headliner and if she was producing this show and if she's the only one on the poster and it's the Grande Dame, you got to be doing more time than the other people. Maybe she could have done a duet or something, or she could have been incorporated in the performance that RuPaul's Drag Race um, drag queen did, but they didn't. I would have probably maybe even worked with some comedians to do your own little bit, because it looked more like it was going to be, I think Ashley said, like a one woman show, or maybe it was Candace who said that it looked like it was going to be something like that with some guests. But even the Q&A portion, it was more about what her two panelists, their opinion than Karen. Karen was like trying to be, Oprah or Diane Sawyer it. It was, no, we want to hear from you, Karen. Maybe have someone ask you. So it just really wasn't, it wasn't done that well. Yeah, lip syncing, maybe, not a TikTok dance, but like a dance, you know. What flavor works best? I would probably say peach on your peach, on your downstairs. A little peach action, a little peachy keen, Peach tends to have a lot of very positive things. Oh, Busy just sent me a text, and I think it's on Instagram, and I think it's to the yogurt, but I can't click on it because I'm on my phone. If I click out of this, I'll be off the live, but I think it's the Go-Gurt. So I'll have to post it on the community tab after because he must be listening. If you're listening, hi Busy. Shout out to Busy Blue. Oh, so finally we get this moment where Candace might have to talk to Deborah, and Wendy is there as well. Wendy's sitting next to Candace, and Wendy's like, or Candace, I think, tells Wendy that's the chick. That's Deborah, who said our husbands are lusting for her. That they are just smiling at her. Their elbows are getting close to her. They told her their name. Ugh, crazy. So that's when Ashley, I think, decides to just be like, hi, my friend Deborah wants to talk to you about what happened. And then Candace is like, I'm not talking to the Muppets. I'm not talking to Sesame Street. I'm not go count some numbers, count some rocks, count some anything, count some shoelaces. Get away from me with that. And now she's like, really? You're not gonna listen to my friend Deborah? She is wearing a blouse dress. And Deborah's like, we can talk privately. Oh, Deborah, I'm sure you want to talk privately. I'm sure you want to talk privately so you can get your screen time and act as though you're relevant. We need Deborah to go away forever. We have had friends come on these shows. We had it happen in Atlanta, the cookie lady showing up. But at least the cookie lady, there was a reason she was there, right? It wasn't, I don't remember what happened with the cookie lady. But even the cookie lady made more sense than Deborah. Deborah doesn't make any sense. Where'd you come from? Who are you? What? You can't be a +1 and then claim you all the husbands tried to pound you. No, she's not the pound cake she thinks she is. And that's what Mia says too. Mia was like, hey, Wendy and Candace are 8s, maybe 8.5. Okay. Deborah, she's cute. She's a 4. She's a 4.32. Okay, she's pi. She's 3.12. Is pi 3.17, 3.12, 3.41, 3.14. Okay, see? I am very smart. I had to ask my husband. She's a pi. She's 3 point, what is it? 41, 14. 3.14. She's a pi. Okay? So Deborah, of course you want to talk to Candace. Candace just did a song with Trina. But I think you're insecure. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit that note so well. I think you're insecure. I think Deborah is insecure. So Candace will have her next hit. And it can be the insecurity. It should be blouse dress. In that blouse dress, get away from me, Muppet. I don't know. I'm not a singer-songwriter, but I should be. So Candace is like, no, we're leaving. Come on, let's go. And Wendy's like, I'm not talking to you about Smiley Eddie. I'm not talking to any of you guys. Yeah, just a private combo, she said, with Bravo cameras. Mm-hmm. Yep. Won't you tell me how to get away from Deborah? How to get away from Deborah? Yeah, Browse was looking for a moment, Callie Misfit, and Browse also took that moment and went on her Instagrammy and was talking about these are natural. Okay, great, good for you. I don't know. I think they've been shaped. I mean, no one's eyebrows look perpetually surprised, right? Always, I mean, maybe like the Joker, but that's about it. I was just over Deborah because she's just straight coming on the show lying. Lying. Ashley said, my friends don't lie. Ashley is like 11 from Stranger Things. She's like, friends don't lie. It's like, they do, Ashley. Your friends lie. Your husband lies. It seems like everyone you surround yourself with is a big liar. Okay, what do you know about the truth? You were married to Michael Darby. I just need Ashley to get that summer house D by now because she is just. Ugh. It's one thing to try to stir the pot a little bit, but these are just like baseless claims that are boring from Deborah. We don't know Deborah. She barely knows Deborah. I thought these girls had been her friends forever. She's like, these are my girls. These are my BLTs. I love them so much. I've known her for about a year, maybe a year and 3 months. I'm like, you've only known her for a year, maybe a year and a half max. You don't even know that lady yet. Because if you're a lady, you realize that when you have a friend and you have been friends with her less than a year and a half, you don't know that girl. She could be a stone cold murderer. People hide that stuff for years. You don't know. People can fake it. A year and a half, I could pretend I am sweet as pie for a year and a half. But if you know me for 2.5 years, then you know the real me. A year and a half? No. So I really thought, like, oh, they go back a long time. No, Deborah just showed up. And now she wants a spot on the show. No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, they didn't teach that on Sesame Street. Princess says she's married, couldn't have entertained anything, even if it were true. Yeah, and her husband's name is Chris. Maybe she was the one that got confused because that's what it looked like from the tape. Roll the footage, and there she is. Hi. And he's like, oh, hey, I'm looking at my phone, taking my hot wife to something. She's a singer now. So we're going to go meet Trina or something. What's up? Hi. Oh, yeah, I'm Chris. That's my husband's name. Oh, yeah, all he said was, yeah, there's lots of those out there because Chris is a very common name. If you name your kid Chris, yeah, I mean, you can, but they might get, they're going to get about 8 Chris's in their class. So maybe you want to just only call him Christopher, but then there's a lot of Christophers, but there's a lot of Chris's. Chris is it's like the basic B name for dudes, and some women. I got lots of friends named Chris. I got lots of enemies named Chris. I know lots of Chris's. That's all he was saying. And Deborah took that and she was like, oh, I think he wants in my baby door. And it's like, nobody wants in your baby door, Deborah. No, no, no. JSco says, love that Candace didn't give her any time. Next, yes. And that's what So Debonair was saying on the So Busy review is earlier today, that is the perfect way for Candace to handle it. And I agree. Because if you do too much, then you're just down in the dirt with Deborah. You're going to be at Kohl's with the Kohl's cash for her next blouse dress with her. So just, no, bye, Deborah. I don't even want to learn your name. Tamara says, everyone who tried to accuse these men had nothing, just a hi and a smile. What are we, in middle school? Yeah, we're in Thirst Trap Middle School, where these women want so badly to be in the popular clique, which would be the housewives, and get paid. They don't care. They're willing to do anything. Miss T says, Sesame Street said lying is wrong. Sesame Street. Yep, they did. Like, won't you tell me how to get to Deborah Street, Deborah? How to get rid of Deborah. I just don't think we even needed this. This isn't even a fun storyline. It's just baseless claims against these two men who are actually, you see so many of these housewives. The sad part is you see a lot of these housewives are no longer married. The majority of housewives, I think, I haven't done the math, but let's pretend, aren't even married anymore or on, second, third, fourth marriages. And you have 2 marriages, I believe, first for both women, but maybe second for Chris. And they're trying to destroy them with baseless rumors. It's ridiculous. Yeah, 1 year, but she never lies. Never lies. I was so happy that production actually had the backs of these men. And Eddie, who just smiles a lot. He's just cute and smiles. He can't help it. He has a nice smile. When you have a nice smile, you want to show it off, Deborah. I mean, Deborah is kind of, I don't think I can share anything on my screen right now, but maybe I can. Maybe I'll try to upload a little picture here. But Deborah, look at Deborah. This is Deborah smiling. Okay, let me add this. See if this comes through, you guys. Here's Deborah. No, Deborah. No. No, lady, stop it. So yeah, Eddie has a very inviting smile. This is a, I don't, I should probably move away from you smile. It was just, it's too much, Deborah. You're just doing too much. And then to go on Instagram and no, no, no. And the hair flipping and the everything, it was just too much. And to do that to Eddie and to Candace and Chris, no. Okay, here's Deborah. Put some more pictures up so we can see them here. So there's Deborah. Everyone's man wants to be Deborah. And then, you have these two. You got Wendy and Candace. We're just like, we're not talking to you, Deborah. Nobody is talking to Deborah. Nobody. Yeah, Eddie wasn't even smiling at her. He was smiling at a dog, a passerby, a dog that was passing by. That's what he was smiling at. We heard it. He only smiles at dogs, okay? Here's Eddie, looking all cute, not even looking at her. Happy Eddie laughing. He's laughing with the guys. There's G over there. You got Chris next to him. He's color coordinated with his wife, wearing pink. He's adorable. If if Deborah takes away Eddie's smile, I'll never forgive her. I'll already never forgive her. Okay, so no Sesame Street. It's not now. Is not the time to be doing this. Get into the show another way. I mean, there's got to be something else. I mean, look at Jamal Bryant. You could have easily gotten in there. Could have maybe got pregnant or something. Jamal, he's got a history of that. Goes to a husband that has a history of these things. Maybe work your way in that way. Okay. Juan Dixon, maybe try to spit some game at Juan if you ever see him, if he ever shows up at events and stuff. So that would probably be a better thing to do. But no, Deborah, no. Deborah, I just, and these damn work shirts, I can't with her work shirts. And here's Deborah on the Instagram, 867 followers. No, Deborah, we got to have a little bit of self awareness here. She says, hello, world. God first. I think it's other people's husbands, lying on other people's husbands first, then God. Wifey. Truth. Oh, no. Hero's mommy. Pet mom to Julius Caesar. I am a lover. Yeah. I think she meant liar. Real Housewives of Potomac at Bravo TV. If they give her a part on this show, I'm going to stop watching. I cannot watch Deborah. And I'll probably still watch, but I'll hate every second of it. I will. No, Deborah. Oh. And then, obviously we have Kieran Huger. Whatever I said about you was the truth, Mia. I mean, it is. It's what you said, Mia. I thought Kieran looked great. Performance-wise, it's iffy. I do think maybe she needs another manager. That manager she has, who was a teenager when he first came on the scene. I don't know how she met him. Maybe it's a friend of the family. Now he's got chest hair, and he's letting it fly, letting it. He's got bear tendencies. A little bit of spruce. The spruce is loose coming out of his windbreaker in the episode. I noticed. Is that sexy? Let me know in the comments. Because he's younger, so he must know. Be on trend. Is having some little sprucies sticking out. Do you guys like the little chest hair, the little bristles coming out of the windbreaker? Maybe that's a popular thing now. How would I know? All right. And then obviously the Ladams, which Karen is right. She's like, I don't want to take away from Beyonce and the Beehive. But I do have the Ladams. The Ladamers. I think they should be the Ladamers, but she's got a hive too. That's called Ladamers. The Ladams. They all live in a dam instead of a hive. It's pretty fantastic. And then there was this point where Mia was talking and this happened with her mouth, and I don't know what happened. I think Mia's face, she's lying so much, her face is trying to leave her body. Just like Nene was like, your clit has left your body. I think, your face is leaving your body when you lie too much. Because this happened, and I was like, what's going on with Mia's mouth here? What's happening? There are a lot of bottom teethies. A lot going on. So that's that about that, you guys. Those are my feelings about this past episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 12, Mic Drop. Make sure you hit that subscribe. Jasco says, did everyone see Deborah going live in her 800? Yes, yes, yes. She is going to find the moisture. Thirsty. Thirsty thirst trap. Yeah, it hurts to lie that hard. Even her mouth is like, no, stop it. I'm out of here. And she's like, stay with me. I have more lies to tell. Oh, it's just really bad. All right, but good episode. Good episode. I can't wait till next week. I'll be back with Shauna. She'll be back from her vacation. Make sure you guys sub to her. Wish her a happy birthday on her videos at Shauna Christmas, SHANNA Christmas. Show her some love since she was born on Jesus' birthday, you guys. Make sure you smash that like, comment on this video after it is posted. It helps me with the almighty algorithm that we all try to get in so much, so badly. All right. You guys are wonderful and beautiful. And I will be back with more videos and more Real Housewives of Potomac very soon. But until next time, remember to enjoy yourself because, say it, Renee, it's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made